What up, family? It's your favorite cousin, your bald-headed brethren, Cool Rich, back in this mug, and we about to have another great conversation. And I told y'all last time that I'm in the great state of Michigan, right? So I'm not sure if y'all have this available in y'all area, but we have a lot of apple orchards around here, and we get toe up at them. Like we have a whole fun time, man. And like it could be a full day event because you can either have some hay rides and some of our apple orchards or apple farms or any of those sorts. Some of them are pretty large. Like I'm not sure if you've ever heard of Blake's. Maybe y'all have heard of those through if you've had their cider beverages, stuff like that. And you'll see that there's a variety because Michigan is the second most diverse and when it comes to produce. So next to California, California is number one. We're second most in diversity with produce. So because of that, we have a lot of different things. And when we have our apple orchards, typically we also have a lot of different berries as well. So we have berry jams, berry orchards, all type of stuff like that, right? And it's crazy, well, berry farms, but it's crazy that when I've been to those, I seen to sense this commonality that most guys want to wear like apple based fragrances. Like there's this one gentleman that had on the I think it was by Killian or Apple Brandy. And I was like, hey man, you smell good and stuff, but you kind of smell like it smelled like apple. Like everything was around apples and everything. So it smelled good, but it also kind of blended in well with the environment, so well to the fact that it kind of faded away after a while. Most people didn't smell it. I smelled it because I love fragrances, so I did get that whiff, but most people didn't actually catch what he had on. That's kind of crazy because I had on this fragrance that I'm actually show you next when we actually chop it up. So sit back, relax, and yeah man, let's talk about the top 3 best fragrances to have or to use when you're on the apple orchard. So, yeah, let's chop it up. Welcome back. Definitely appreciate you. And also, let's make sure that we take care of the housekeeping. So I do need to make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the content. So that way we can keep growing the community because we are almost close to 150. I'm happy about that, and I want to see it keep progressing. So that way we can hit that 500 benchmark, then get over to 1,000, and after that, keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. Don't want to end up plateauing, so that's the main thing, right? So hey, I appreciate y'all for y'all support. But that fragrance that I was referring to, that I got a lot of compliments on when I was on the apple orchard, happens to be something that you would not expect. This mug is an amazing fragrance. Some say from the reviews that I've seen that it leans feminine. I would say that it's unisex, but this mug is an amazing fragrance. Let me go ahead and spray this mug so I can let it kind of set for a minute too. And that fragrance is Ralph Lauren Polo Earth. Now, I love this fragrance. This mug is a bomb. Like it's a neroli bomb, bro. Like, but it's balanced out because you also got a lot of the citruses that come in with it. Like, bro. That neroli is strong. Like, I will say that. That neroli is definitely strong. But, you definitely get a balance of the citruses, things, some citron, bergamot. Also, you get some spicy mint. So you also get that as well. So with that neroli, it also starts to balance out with that spicy mint. And then it starts to go into like this thing, in which I had to look this up. It was like Lang Lang. Never heard of Lang Lang. Well, I've heard of Lang Lang, but I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. But it's like a fruity, dirty type of accord. That mug is actually pretty sweet. And like, you know, it definitely balances out with a good earthy note, because then it goes to some orange blossom, has some sage with it as well. Still musky and got that lavender in it, so it's smooth. And then you got a vetiver accord in there as well towards the dry down. So it's well balanced. The good thing about it is that when you're talking about being outside, this mug performs well. Also, like I said, I got a lot of compliments from it because it is unisex. So, you know, a lot of women gave me compliments, and then it's also projecting well on my skin. One thing that I did actually point out to the guy when me and him was talking, because me and them did end up having a conversation, just because like he's a fragrance fanatic just as much as I am, and he was wearing that apple brandy fragrance, and he was like, you know, I'm wondering, like, you've gotten about like 7 to 8 different compliments off of your fragrance. The only compliment I've gotten was from you, and he was talking about me. So he was wondering, like, dang, why? I'm like, probably because you in a apple, majority apple place, and then you got on a scent that's similar to the majority of what's going on, which is apple orchard. So it might end up like numbing it out to most people's nasal palate, while mine's actually still is more of like a cut against the grain. And because of that, it's still like a woody, earthy, still seems like a more outdoorsy type, fresh, but still citrus based, and definitely with a neroli, like woody aspect. It's like, this mug is beautiful. It's a very beautiful fragrance, but this mug is underrated, and it actually got me more compliments than what I was anticipating. I wasn't anticipating any compliments, to be honest, but I think that just because it was so different from everything else that was around our nasal palate, that it was able to get that much attention. So that may be a lesson to some individuals, that you don't want to go with the setting all of the time, especially when the notes of it is so overwhelming. So yeah, going against the grain can actually work in your favor, and that is where Ralph Lauren Polo Earth came in handy. So pick this up if you haven't already. You can definitely find it in like Nordstrom's rack for a good price. So go ahead. Now this next one is one of my favorites. This mug is definitely one of the most elegant fragrances that you can actually get in general. Like, this mug is so good. Like, you cannot underestimate this mug. And this fragrance might not be what you expect to go to an apple orchard with, but like I said, I've been to a few apple orchards and I've gotten compliments off of this, and that is Chanel Allure Home. This mug is beautiful. This mug is beautiful. Man, let me go ahead and hit this test strip real quick. You immediately get like a citrus and a wood, like pepper accord. So you get like lemon, peach, mandarin orange, bergamot, and some ginger. And then it also has like a lavender note. So there is definitely that floral essence in there, some rose and rosewood. So that mug is definitely fire. It's definitely wonderful. And then it also gives me two of my favorites, you know what I'm saying? But you know what my favorite is? Patchouli. You know, that patchouli note is definitely hitting. And I want to say there's some cedar in here as well. So it definitely does balance out. Like, this mug is a beautiful fragrance. And I was I was at Apple Orchard up north. This is probably like a few years back, and I had this on, and I continuously got compliments from the time that we actually went to the Apple Orchard, to the time that we started testing out stuff, to the times that we started to participate in a lot of the events and everything like that, getting some donuts and the whole nine. Like, this mug, I want to say probably like 3 or 4 compliments. And the good thing about it is that they kept saying, like, it smells sexy. It says it smells elegant. Like they weren't expecting that for when you're coming to an apple orchard. Like, and because they're usually smelling like stuff that's apples and everything like that, you know, it's definitely going to hit different. So this mug is definitely a bomb. I would say if you don't have this in your stable, please go ahead and get this. If you haven't gotten your nose on this, please go ahead and do so, because you are doing yourself a disservice if you haven't. So again, this mug is Chanel Allure Homme. Now this next one is Sexy Could Be a Fragrance. I think this one will be that. And this mug, I'm gonna tell you right now, this mug does have a hint of apple in it. It's actually one of the main accords. And this mug is from my favorite fragrance line. I mean, you should have already known this. And I'm also I'm gonna do a video on why I got rid of all my creeds, all of them. Yeah. But nevertheless, this mug is definitely one of the best fragrances, and it's going head to head with Creed. Even though some people say, you know, this mug can smell like Vicks, and that is Parfums de Marly Layton. This mug is gorgeous. Now, like I said, it has an apple note. Like, it has a green apple accord to it. And then also, you know, you have the lavender. Like, you know, you got your cool rich chest strips and everything. You know what I'm saying? Get you some. But you got the lavender, the mandarin orange. It's this mug is so beautiful. Like, because it also, like I said, it's an amber floral, like, so there's a good hint of amber in here. Also, you get that violet and the jasmine. You get the patchouli, sandalwood. I want to say, I think it's like, that sweet vanilla. This mug is beautiful. But, low-key, this mug is went head-to-head with Creed Aventus sometimes, and sometimes it's won, sometimes it's lost, I have to be honest. But this mug is one of the best fragrances, and if you are going to an apple orchard, I do not think that you can have on a better fragrance than this. Yes, you can put on the apple brandy. Yes, you can put on other apple-based fragrances. But when you're talking about versatility, the ability to go ahead and consume the room to let it be known that you have arrived, this mug does the job. Alright, so hey man, I appreciate y'all for definitely tapping in and tuning in for another legendary video. You know, being a part of the Cool Rich community, I definitely appreciate y'all. You know, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the content. And if you also want to subscribe, you know, help support with the Cash Apps, you can always donate to Cash App, $ the Cool Rich. I definitely appreciate it, and you know, I definitely just appreciate anybody that's been supporting and continuing to support, because you know, man, I've been consistent with this stuff. Yo, you gotta give me my credit on some things. I've been consistent with the last, you know, few videos and stuff. I think I'm on 8 right now. So hey man, like I said, we're going on a road to 100, and I appreciate y'all for definitely being a part of this journey. So y'all go ahead, take it easy, peace and love.